Hello everyone. Our today's topic of discussion is phytoremediation. Let's discuss its etymology. The word phytoremediation is derived from two words, phyto meaning plant and remedium which means restoring balance. Let's define what is phytoremediation. It is the use of green plants and the associated microorganisms along with proper soil amendments and agronomic techniques to either contain, remove or render toxic environmental contaminants harmless. It is the technology that uses plants to clean up contaminated sites. It is green technology that uses plant systems for remediation and restoration. It encompasses microbial degradation in rhizosphere as well as uptake, accumulation and transformation in the plant. Current methods mainly remove and transport to RCRA, Resource Conservation and Recovery Act, landfill or pump and treat type systems. Many sites are large and pollution is not high but still violates standards. For secondary or tertiary treatments of wastewater, how does phytoremediation work? Plants in conjunction with bacteria and fungi in the rhizosphere transform, transport or store harmful chemicals. Why plants are good candidates for phytoremediation? They have root system, surface area to absorb substances and efficient mechanism to accumulate water, nutrients and minerals. They can selectively take up ions. They have developed diversity and adaptivity to tolerate high levels of metals and other pollutants. What are the mechanisms of phytoremediation? There are different mechanisms like phytotransformation and phytodegradation. In phytotransformation, pollutant is taken up by the plant and transformed in plant tissue. To be effective, must be transformed into a less toxic form. Trichloroethylene (TCE) is a prevalent groundwater contaminant transformed to less toxic metabolite by using hybrid poplar tree. Air Force facility in Texas using cottonwoods to treat a large groundwater plume of TCE. EPA Environmental Protection Agency research lab using parrot feather, a common aquatic weed for T&D treatment. The picture shown here is of poplar tree. Phytoextraction, it is the uptake of chemicals by the plant. It works well on metals such as lead, cadmium, copper and nickel etc. Detroit lead contaminated site was removed with sunflower and Indian mustard. Recently, researchers at the University of Florida have determined that a species of fern native to southeast stores high concentrations of arsenic in the fronds and stems, more than 200 times the concentration in the soil. What is phytostabilization? It is the vegetation holds contaminated soils in place. Root system and low growing vegetation prevent mechanical transportation of pollutants from wind and erosion. Trees transpire large quantities of water, more than 15 gallons per day, so pumping action prevents contaminants from migration into the water table. Rhizofiltration is the use of the extensive root systems of plants as a filter. In 1995, sunflowers were used in a pond near Chernobyl. Approximately 1 week, they had hyperaccumulated several thousand times the concentration of cesium and strontium. Hyperaccumulation can contain 100 times or more of contaminant than normal plant. Rhizosphere bioremediation is the bioremediation with the help of plant roots by increasing microbial activity in the land, in the soil. It increases soil organic carbon, bacteria and mycorrhizal fungi, all factors that encourage degradation of organic chemical in soil. The number of beneficial bacteria is increased in the root zone of hybrid poplar trees and enhanced the degradation of BTEX organic chemicals in soil. BTEX stands for benzene, toluene, ethylbenzene and xylene etc. What are the advantages of bioremediation or phytoremediation? It is cost effective when compared to other more conventional method. It is more natural, more aesthetically pleasing. Minimal land disturbance is created in phytoremediation. It reduces potential for transport of contaminants by wind, reduces soil erosion, Hyperaccumulators of contaminants mean a much small volume of toxic waste. Multiple contaminants can be removed with the same plant. What are the disadvantages of phytoremediation? Slow rate and difficult to achieve acceptable levels of decontamination, potential phase transfer of contaminant, possibility of contaminated plants entering the food chain, disposal of plant biomass could be a RCRA regulated hazard substance, possible spread of contaminant through falling leaves, decrease in action during winter months when trees are dormant. Trees do not grow rapidly in the winter season. Trees and plants require care. Contaminant might kill the tree. Degradation product could be worse than original contaminant. Much testing is needed before a procedure can be utilized. It must be EPA approved. Aquatic plants for wastewater treatment. Aquatic plants are chosen for absorbing particular nutrient and to remove pathogens, metals and other contaminants from wastewater. Aquatic plants have been shown to be very effective as a secondary or tertiary state for water treatment and nutrient removal. Water lily has an extensive root system with rapid growth rate but is sensitive to cold temperature. It is an ideal plant for wet water treatment in warm climates. Duckweed, Lemma species, has greater cold tolerance and a good capacity for nutrient absorption, so it can work in cold environment. Pennywort, Hydrocotyle species, is relatively cold tolerant with a very good capacity for nutrient uptake. Water hyacinth is good in uptake of heavy metals like plumbers, copper, cadmium and hydrogen or mercury from contaminated water. The function of different parts of plant roots and stem in water column, uptake of functions in uptake of pollutants, surface on which bacteria grow, media for filtration and adsorption of solids. Stem and leaves or above water surface is functioning in attenuate sunlight, thus can prevent growth of suspended algae, reduce effects of winter on water, reduce transfer of gases and heat between atmosphere and water. There are different methods of remediation, contaminant removal mechanisms like physical method, chemical methods and biological method. Physical methods are sedimentation, filtration, adsorption and volatilization, while chemical methods can be precipitation, chemical adsorption, hydrolysis reaction or oxidation reactions, whereas biological mechanisms are bacterial metabolism, plant absorption and natural die-off. What is rhizofiltration? Rhizofiltration is the use of plant roots for, for removing contaminants from water or groundwater. Applicability of rhizofiltration. A suitable plant for rhizofiltration applications can remove toxic metals from solution over an extensive period of time with its rapid growth rate system. Various plant species have been found to effectively remove toxic metals such as copper, cadmium, chromium, nickel, plumbers, and zinc from aqueous solutions. Low level radioactive contaminants also can be removed from liquid stamens. Limitations of rhizofiltration. Rhizofiltration is particularly effective in applications where low concentrations and large volumes of water are involved. What are the data requirements for rhizofiltration? We need depth of contamination, types of heavy metals present in the water, level of contamination must be determined and monitored. Vegetation should be aquatic, emergent or submergent plants. Hydraulic detention time and absorption by the plant. Roots must be considered for a successful design. The example of an experiment of rhizofiltration is here. The plant root immersed in flowing contaminated water until the root is saturated. The metal concentrated in the root was analyzed on a dry weight basis using atomic absorption spectrophotometry AAS. The amount to metal taken up by the roots from various solutions was compared on the basis of recovery rate, microgram metal in roots per microgram metal in solution, and bioaccumulation coefficient, parts per million metal in roots by parts per million of metal in solution. Other factors that should be considered in rhizofiltration: potential of failure modes and contingencies. Rhizofiltration may not succeed for a number of reasons, including mortality of plants, for reasons such as management, weather extremes, soil conditions, or pest. Field studies are required before full-scale application. Specific information include rates of remediation, irrigation, requirement, rate of soil amendments, and plant selection. Formulating clear objectives, appropriate treatments, experimental units, and planning are important considerations in field studies. Economics: this technique should be less expensive than traditional technologies such as excavation, thermal desorption, and landfilling, etc. Let's conclude our topic. Although much remains to be studied, phytoremediation will clearly play some role in the stabilization and remediation of many contaminated sites. The main factor driving the implementation of phytoremediation projects are low costs with significant improvements in site aesthetics and the potential for ecosystem restoration. If you have any question, you may post your question in the comment section. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.